So here's Carrie in California. It's kind of alliterative. Carrie says, this is my second year teaching pre-K, and I feel like all I do is assess. Can I get an amen? Does anyone out there feel like that? I felt this way. Second year teaching pre-K, and I feel like all I do is assess. I am an assessment machine. And Carrie, let me just say, on behalf of myself and probably hundreds of thousands of people out there in pre-K pages land, you're not. I felt like my kids were missing out and I was drowning in paperwork. How can I make this assessment stuff go faster? I have some tips, Carrie. Hold on. She goes on to say, how do you manage the other kids while you're testing? And that's a question I get a lot. It takes forever because they're always interrupting. I know it seems so counterintuitive to do all this assessment on little kids because it takes time away from teaching. We can't be this nurturing, loving person when we have this deadline breathing down our neck that we have to assess all this stuff. So it's really, really hard. And I totally have been there and done that my whole teaching career. So I will say this, there is no secret magic pill that's going to make assessment go away as long as we have to have accountability for the funding of our public programs. There will always be assessment, so it's not going away. But there are some things that we can do as teachers to help. So my first and best tip is a simple online assessment tool that you might have heard of called ESGI, okay? And I'm not saying that because it's, something that I haven't used. I have used it, and it is a huge time-saving thing. So it does cost money, but I'm going to give you a cheat sheet on how to ask your principal or director, whomever, to pay for it, because I really feel like this is something that's so beneficial to all teachers that your school should pay for it for you. So let's go through some of the things it can do. Yes, especially now more than ever before. Yes. Alice says she pulls kids at rest time who are not sleeping to assess. Yes, Alice, that's one way. So here's the thing I like about ESGI. I don't have papers or notebooks to dig through, okay? And Tom's going to drop a link if you would rather go and read about this on your own. I have a link at Pre-K Pages that explains it all in great detail. So no notebooks, forms, anything to dig through. It's completely digital. And I like that kind of thing. I like to not carry my heavy bag home every night, right? Full of assessment stuff to go through. You can use your a computer, your own smartphone, your own tablet or iPad to assess your kids. So it doesn't have to be given to you by the school district. You can assess on your own device, and that's really great if you want to be portable. It speeds things up. And Carrie, this is the part that's going to help you in your question about how can I make it go faster. It speeds up the assessment process. It makes it quick and easy to get your assessments done. It keeps track of what kid has been tested and what tests they've taken. And I have printable assessments at Pre-K Pages, and I remember, I'm putting little tabs in there and flipping through and saying, okay, this one needs this test. I'd write it down on a sticky note, and this one needs to do this test because he was absent. This one had, okay, it's stressing me out thinking about it. We don't need any more stress in our lives during back to school, do we? Also, one of the things you have to do with paper assessments is that you have to figure out who knows what. Right? So you have to go through and look at all those numbers and things you've collected. So ESGI is going to do all that for you. It gives you charts and graphs and pie charts and all that great stuff. Letters to parents. After you've done your assessment, it automatically generates professionally written documents that you can send to parents. It's a nice professionally written note that you can give to them in English or Spanish about their child's progress. So now you've got parent communication in there, and parent communication is a huge part of, if you're in a school district, of their budget. So this is a place where they could pull funds from because it's going to help improve and streamline parent communication. There's tons of tests that have already been created for you, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel or create your own. And my tests from Pre-K Pages are also there in ESGI. Or you can create your own tests that are aligned to your school district or your center's own needs or program. So you can get, Carrie, I want you to check this out and try it. You can try it out for 60 days for free to see if it's going to help you. So you can go to the link. Tom is going to give you the link to my ESGI page, and you can enter the code Pre-K Pages, Pre-K Pages, that's me, when you sign up for your free trial, and you don't need to put any credit card info in when you do that. And then you can save 400 hours a year, which is equivalent to 67 full days of teaching. Imagine if you could get 67 hours of your year back. How fun would that be, and how much would your kids learn? And then you could have time for the fun stuff that you didn't get to, and you wouldn't feel like your kids were missing out. So here's the cheat sheet I promised you, because it does cost money, and I think your school should pay for it. So yes. So here's how you can do it. I'm gonna give a link to, this isn't quite done yet. I've kind of fleshed it out today, but it's not quite polished up enough. And so I will share it with you all in my my emails. So make sure that you subscribe to my email, and then I'll send it out in my next email update. So here's the letter as how it reads so far. I might have to tweak it. So if you want me to make tweaks, let me know. But you can always change it. When you get the link, I'll leave it unsecured. It's just text. You can just copy it and paste it and change it. So here's the letter. Dear so-and-so, that's your administrator, I would like to introduce you to a data collection tool called ESGI that's revolutionizing the way teachers assess students. Here are some of the features that you may be most interested in. And then I've listed the 3 features, but you might want to change those features depending on your principal or your school. So the first one is increases instructional time by decreasing time spent assessing. Do you see what I did there? All principals want increased instructional time, right? So you're going to start off with a bang. Increase your instructional time by decreasing time spent assessing. Target instruction. That's something principals are always telling us to do, is target our instruction. Look at the gaps in our data. Target our instruction. So it's going to help you do that. And assess your data for classes electronically anytime or anywhere. So that means that your principal or your director can go in on the computer and see the scores real time. Like if you tested your kids today on the alphabet, your principal can go in there and look at those scores right away. So that's a huge benefit for administrators. So those are 3 that I listed. And then this one here, I'm not sure about this part. Some of the ways I believe ESGI will improve the assessment process are, and then I have some blank lines for you to put your own thoughts. And then it says, specifically, I would like to use ESGI in my classroom too. And then I picked 3. You might pick 3 others. Improve parent communication. Now remember, we talked about parent communication and parent involvement being a huge source of funding. So I want to hit on that. Spend more time teaching and less time assessing. Quickly and easily identify areas of instruction that need improvement. There, I just told the principal that I know I need improvement. Principals like to hear that. They never like to hear a teacher that says they're perfect. They always want to hear that there's something that you can improve on, because that's what they're always looking for. So those are my 3 things that I picked out. And then there's a little paragraph at the end. Using ESGI will provide a way for me to quickly and easily assess my students, then intentionally target my instruction using the automatically generated charts and graphs. I can start using ESGI immediately in the classroom, free for 60 days to try it out. And during that time, you can access the account and see if you like the way the data is displayed and shared. I believe that ESGI will allow me more time for teaching and my students more time for learning. I understand that funds are limited, and I am prepared to devote the time necessary to learn how to use ESGI and share what I have learned with my colleagues in a timely manner. And then at the very, very bottom, I have the annual subscription cost. You never want to start out with the price. So if you want to pitch this to your principal or your director, whomever, you're not going to say, I found this really great tool. It's only $100 and whatever dollars. You know, you never want to say that. You're going to want to put that at the end, and there's a place for you to sign it. So this is my little cheat sheet, and if you would like a copy, make sure to sign up for my email, and I will send this out in my next email update. What I'll do is I'll create a blog post with this question and answer video, and then in that blog post, I will link to this document that you can use. Ooh, Allison has a good idea. I have to read it before you need it to achieve those goals. Tie it to your teacher evaluation system like Danielson. Hello, the angels are singing. Yes, indeedy, Allison. That is exactly what you need to do. Anytime you tie something into the goals that you have for your evaluation, that is like the golden ticket to getting something, because the principal is there to help you meet those goals. And that's also how you get funding to go to teacher conferences. Very, very smart, Allison. Very smart. Kiss your brain, as Dr. Jean would say. Melinda says, teachers enter their own standards-based assessments or copy and edit others' tests if the 700 tests included aren't specifically what is needed. Woo, that sounds good. All right. I can't scroll through the comments because I am hacking Facebook tonight, and I have my camera turned around so that you all could see the things I was holding up. See that the text is no longer backwards, but on the same note, I can't see as well what you're saying because I'm only seeing the live comments, which is kind of a bummer. Lauren says, intentional instruction. That's right, Lauren. Absolutely.
The question is, what standards is ESGI based on, or is it customizable?
Oh, ESGI is completely customizable. So you have all kinds of options. Like Melinda said, there's more than 700 tests to choose from. You have tests, if you're in a non-Common Core state, you have tests that are based on those specific state standards. You have tests aligned to TK if you're in California, the TEKS or text if you're, or STAR if you're in Texas, you know, whatever it is, they've got it. Yes, I do love Dr. Jean. So they're not any specific state. There's just so many of them that there's going to be something out there for everybody. And then, of course, you do have the Common Core aligned stuff. My particular assessments are just based on a compilation of the national standards. So I did a reverse alignment to the kindergarten Common Core, and I took them down to the pre-K level. And then I also looked at all of the other public pre-K guidelines that were out there. Like we have Texas guidelines here for pre-K, and there's the Georgia GELDs, and there's all the other ones all over the country. And so I kind of took them all and kind of leveled them out. They're all very, very, very similar because the components of phonological awareness are the same wherever you go. You know, the components of what makes good reading, you know, how children become good readers, those are all the same wherever you go. So it was fairly easy. So yes, Marcia says you can print the flashcards. Hey, Marcia, do you use ESGI? That's so cool. I didn't know that. We'll have to chat about that. Marcia's one of our Teaching Tribe members. Yes. And if you're not a member of the Teaching Tribe and you want to check it out, it's a supportive community of teachers just like you, teachers of preschool, pre-K, Head Start, TK, JK, SK, kinder, homeschool, in-home childcare. We've got librarians, we've got teachers from around the world, including Abu Dhabi and all over the place, joining us over there in the Teaching Tribe. You have access 24/7 to all of my printables at Pre-K Pages, as well as a supportive community of new and veteran teachers, a safe haven for asking and answering questions, and you also have 2 webinars a month with me with 1-hour certificates of attendance. So hey,